Tim will forever be linked to education, and one person who made an immediate connection with him was Debbie Phelps. The now retired educator says Tootin was at the head of the class in all that he did. I'll get you to finish the sentence for me. When Tim Tootin walks into a classroom,
everything lights up.
Doesn't it though?
It does.
Huh?
It just shines. It's radiant.
Huh?
It's amazing. Kids are like, oh my God, there's Tim Tootin, Dr. Tootin, Mr. Tootin, whatever you want to call him. They get so excited.
And Debbie, it's not just the kids.
No, it's the teachers too. It's the principal. It's everybody in the schoolhouse. You know, he's a builder of relationships. He just knew how to do the right thing. He just did the right thing. It was just natural.
Not everybody has that quality.
No.
Not every education reporter can walk in, because he got the nuts and bolts,
Yeah.
but he also got the relationship also.
He did. You know, that firm handshake, that pat in the back, that big hug, that twinkle in his eye, the smile on his face. Just his demeanor, his presence, it just lit the room up.
I know you have a gold medal story for me. Tell me about, give me a classic Debbie Phelps, Tim Tootin story, please.
Gold medal story. With our gold medal story, it was always, how's Michael? How's Michael doing? He looks so happy. It was about the human being, not the medal, which is so important. He was proud of Michael, as the country was, as the world was, but it was like more humanistic as to, I'm so proud of him, what he did, and the goals he set, to be able to do what he did, to make history. And we got to live that together.
Wasn't it interesting that it didn't matter who was at the table, they're all the same? If it was an 8-year-old who may be struggling with reading, or a teacher who won the Teacher of the Year, or Nancy Grasmick who's running school, it was the same respect for all of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. He was, with the child, he was kneeling down beside him at the desk. You know, with the teacher, it was eye to eye, where Nancy was sitting in a chair across the room from her, across the table from her. No, he loved people, and people loved him, and he respected people.
Why did he work as well as he did as an education reporter? What trait did he have, do you think, resonated in your industry, do you think?
Understanding.
Yeah.
The need for taking care of our children, our next generation. His heart for kids and for the people in their schoolhouses. Not just the schoolhouses, his churches. There's his community around him. He just so cared about people.
Yeah. Was he your friend, or was he your colleague?
He was my friend. He was my colleague. And eventually he became my business partner.
How so?
With the foundation.
Ah, yeah.
You know, for the past 13 years, Jason, I was the executive director of the foundation. Just recently retired in January. Can't believe I did that, but I did. And I got to work with Tim with the Stuff the Bus.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing, which is, not was, it is an amazing program that's growing with WBAL TV, radio, 98 Rock, Baltimore Orioles, Walmart. It was Tim's heart. You know, I have this thing I do every day. It's called Stop, Pause, Reflect, and Rewind.
Okay.
And it lets me reflect on things, people, opportunities, experiences. And the day that I heard of Tim's passing, I Googled WBAL, of course, went right to the station.
It's the source, sure.
And I looked at Stuff the Bus. I went back to that day in August, where he was at the Walmart in Towson. And we were reflecting school supplies for Baltimore County. And I watched a video of him with one of your meteorologists who was doing the interview at the time, and Tim was walking down towards the bus, pulling a beach wagon filled with supplies. His hat on his head, his jacket that he wore, so dapper. But pouring these school supplies down towards the reporter. And he said, I'm looking for Stuff the Bus, which was named after him this past year, which was such an honor, and he was so excited about that. And he says, well, I think you found it, because here's the bus. He says, well, I want to bring these supplies because I want to stuff this bus with resources and materials and tools that were given by his congregation. So he proceeds to talk a little bit more, and he goes like this, motioning all these people pushing grocery carts filled with supplies. Wow. He said, today is about giving to the next generation, giving to our students and our teachers in the classroom, because they need your help. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of supplies were given throughout the district, not only Baltimore County, but the neighboring school districts. So he hands the interview over to another individual from a company, First Financial, who was talking. But then it came back to him. And he pulled from his wagon, not like this, a box of number 2 pencils.
Yeah.
He's like, look, look, I used these pencils when I was in school and they still need them now. So, you know, after I watched that video, I went to my desk and I pulled out some number 2 pencils.
I know.
It's more than just something to write with. Every time I pick one up now, I will think of Tim and his legacy that he has left throughout this entire state and region and in the world in which he's traveled.
Sure.
So number 2 pencils might be small and mighty, but Tim, these will always be part of you.